Cameron, fancy seeing you here.
Oh, hey, Emma. I'm here to MC the State of the District.
Oh my gosh, no way. Me too. Remember how annoyed we were at the staff Red Apple breakfast when we had to MC together? It's so good that we're able to work together despite going to rivaling high schools.
Yeah, well, it was a little weird that they had C-Home MCs there when it was held at Groves, but totally. Just because you're a Maple and I'm a Falcon doesn't mean we can't work together as a team.
Yeah, and the fact that C-Home beat Groves twice during the football season shouldn't stop us from being friends.
All right, let's get this show on the road.
Welcome everyone to the State of the District event.
To start us off, a performance that'll make your socks groove harder than a washing machine on spin cycle.
Here before you stands the incredible, the incomparable, the high-flying C-Home Jazz Band led by Valeria Petrosi's best friend, Tim Seabor.
That he was doodling in his apartment that they saved, that they've remixed and released a few weeks ago. You should check it out. It's historical, nothing else. Here's another Beatles tune. This is Can't Buy Me Love.
Wow! Thank you, Mr. Seaborn and the rest of the Seahome Jazz Band for those totally terrific tunes.
Let's give them another round of applause. We would now like to welcome Dr. Roberson to the stage.
Well, thank you for being here and coming to our first inaugural State of the District Address. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your busy schedule today to be with us today. So our theme is community, building community. And so just for a second, I want you to think back in time 4 years ago. Now, 4 years ago is not a long time. It's the amount of time that a president serves. It's the amount of time students are in high school. Your students in elementary are actually in school a lot more time than 4 years. But 4 years ago, November 30th, 2019, think about what the world looked like. Most of us had never heard the word COVID. We never talked about masks. That was for surgeons. And our country was very different. Our community has been through a lot, not just locally, but nationally and globally. We're still going through things. But one of the things that we want to focus on in building community is the fact that we all are one. We're one just as humans, but we are also one as the Birmingham Public Schools community, really focused on one goal, which is to make sure that our students feel safe and welcome and respected in school every day, and they're able to reach their fullest potential. And that's why our theme is building community. Today, at the end of the State of the District Address, I hope that you walk out understanding and highlighting some of the major initiatives that we're working on in the district, to celebrate with us some of our major accomplishments, but to also hear about some of the things that we're working on. We're not pretending that this is a perfect school district. We are one of the best school districts in America, and we are in a space where we are continuously trying to improve. Until 100% of our students can say that they feel respected and loved and belonged and part of our district, until 100% of our students are reaching their full potential and are proficient, we know that we will always have work to do. But that doesn't stop us from celebrating. So I want to talk a little bit, just because I know that even though you're a part of the community, we often talk about our K through 12 system schools, our 8 elementaries, our intermediate school, BCS, our 2 traditional middle schools, our 2 high schools, but we have other programs within our district. We have a We Care program at its house right here at Groves, focused on our infants and toddlers, our Early Learning Center, which is Midvale, which has toddlers and preschool. And then we have special programs for high school students that you'll hear about later on, our Lincoln Street Alternative, International Academy, Oakland Schools Technical Center, or OSTC, Early Middle College. And we actually partner also with the French School of Detroit. For those of you who don't know, the French School is housed in West Maple for our elementary students. They attend the French School for half of the day and go to West Maple for the other half of the day. And our students that are participating in the French School at middle school and high school take a couple of classes with French school teachers and then attend Berkshire and Groves. Birmingham, by the numbers, we have about 7,368 students, which is an increase from last year. We're up 85 students, and that is particularly important because we are in a state, the state of Michigan, has declining population. And most schools are seeing a decline in enrollment, but we saw an increase this year. We have about 1,100, almost 1,200 staff members, almost 600 of those are teachers. And our demographics, as you can see here on the board, I won't read all of them. We are 75% white, 10% African American or Black, 10% multiracial, and the rest fit within those categories. We have about 3% of our students are English language learners, and 12%, almost 12% of our students receive special education services, and a little under 10% of our students receive free or reduced lunch. Our boundaries are also amazing. I mean, if you look at, we touch all of those cities that you see on the board, and that is particularly important because we have students who come from a variety of communities, which means we also have to work with a variety of municipalities to make sure that our school district is functioning well. Some people don't realize how many cities that we touch. We also have students who live outside of our boundaries and pay tuition to come to our schools, which is why we are talking about community. We are a diverse school district in a lot of different ways, and because of that, community lives right in our core values as a school district. Now, I want to take a moment and recognize our Board of Education because they set the vision and the mission for our school district. If we have any board members in the audience today, if you would please stand, and if you would please give them a round of applause. Thank you. I'll just read our mission because I hope that in listening to today's presentation that you hear our mission coming to life. In partnership with parents in the community, Birmingham Public Schools will provide educational excellence that empowers students to cultivate their individual brilliance and positively impact their world. So, as I go through this presentation, I think it's very important that you understand that I am not doing this alone. I might be the person up here giving the State of the District address, but the reality is that I can't do anything without a world-class staff. And so if you would please, if you're a staff member, doesn't matter, central leadership, principal, teacher, secretary, custodian, if you would please stand, our video production, please stand, so that we can give you a round of applause. Thank you. So we live in our strategic plan. And for those of you that may not know, we passed our strategic plan in 2022, and we did that after a number of activities. One, launching an equity audit, looking at how all of our students experienced Birmingham Public Schools. We did a number of surveys, focus groups with the community, with students, with staff. We had a committee, an advisory committee, who took that information, synthesized it, helped create the goals. Those goals went to a review committee, also made up of staff and parents and community members who reacted to what those goals were, and that iteration went back and forth. And the reason that I bring this up is because we are living into our strategic plan. It is not something that we are just putting on a shelf and say, check box, we did this. It is something that is truly guiding our work, and we have measurable goals that help us do that. We are one of the best school districts in America, and I want to put this up because we're rated 131 out of 11,000 school districts in America, and that is very impressive. We are looking at our students to compete nationally, not just with students in Michigan, and so you can be assured and proud because of our partnership together that your child is getting one of the best educations in America. So, as I was talking, our strategic plan is a living, breathing document, and one of the things, the first pillar in our strategic plan is student achievement. And the reason that we focus on student achievement is because that is our primary business. We look at student achievement in a number of different ways, but we're first, one of the areas, just one, is looking at our state assessments. And so I wanted to just share a little bit about our state assessments. M-STEP is 3 through 7, and then we look at PSAT and SAT for our 8th and 11th graders. But we have made progress this year on our metrics of success for MSTEP. We also don't just look at the overall scores for our students, but we look at also how does this impact students who have been historically marginalized. So our students who are African American or Black, our English language learners, our students who receive special education services, and our students who are considered economically disadvantaged. And I can say to you that for our 3rd through 7th grade, not only did we see progress overall, but we saw progress in all of those areas for those subgroups. For PSAT and SAT, 8th grade and 11th grade, this is an area where we need to make some progress. We did not see the progress that we would like to see for 8th grade. And that also showed for those subgroups as well. For 11th grade, we did see progress. But when we looked at our subgroups, we saw spotty progress. So we saw increases for some areas, and then we saw stagnation in others. So again, year one, we're looking back at what we did previously, what we need to do in the future to help make our progress towards our 5-year goal. So some of the things that are within our strategic plan, and I should say that our strategic plan does, we have a couple of copies outside in the lobby, so you can pick up one if you don't have one before you leave today, is to focus on literacy. And at the elementary level, we are really looking at making sure that we're training our teachers in Orton-Gillingham and Letters, which is a program that looks at the science of reading. There's been a lot of conversation, if you're following literacy in the public domain, there's been a lot of talk about literacy. And so we also have a K through 12 literacy committee that is looking at the research and the best practices around literacy so that we can also look at what we need to do in terms of revamping our literacy curriculum. We did go through that process with our mathematics curriculum already, and so this year we live into the first year of implementation of K through 8 illustrative mathematics. We also are, part of our strategic plan is living in our MTSS model. The MTSS is multi-tiered systems of support in which we look at students who need additional assistance and students who also need an additional challenge. Each of our schools had already been doing things around MTSS, but one of the things that we wanted to make sure that we did is have a district-wide system, and that goes back to community. We are not a district of schools, separate entities. We are a school district, and we want to make sure that when you entrust us with your child, that it doesn't matter which school that they go to, that they are still going to receive the same education at each school. We currently have 29 advanced placement classes and 27 honors courses, and in that we are trying to see how we could perhaps get more students involved and into those classes. We are excited that we have that many classes for students to take. For those of you who don't know about advanced placement, there are courses that are written by the College Board, and students who pass the test for their advanced placement course at 3, 4, or 5 can get college credit for that class. We're moving from, in our high school model, we're moving from semesters, from trimesters, and we believe that that's going to help students with continuity of learning. So we have excellent scores, but we're competing against other schools and school districts who take a whole year to learn a concept. And our students are learning English, for instance, English 9 in 2 trimesters. So that's 26 weeks versus 40 weeks. And so we want to make sure that we are giving our students the best opportunity to compete with other districts and other schools, but we also want to make sure that we know that we had, for some instances, students who had math first trimester, nothing second trimester, math again third trimester, and that break in learning sometimes was disruptive for students. We also have a number of internships. So what is it that students want to learn and want to study to know whether or not they want to do it later in life? We have a Future Educators program, which is much needed because we know that there's a teacher shortage in our country. We have interns around marketing. We have one working with the Birmingham Education Foundation, and even students here tonight interning around video production. It's important that we really understand what our needs are, what the students want and what the students need. And a perfect story, I think, for that is Ian Weinberg. Ian is a senior at Seaholm who wrote a book about investment. I don't know what you were doing at your junior year in high school, but I can tell you that I was doing nothing like this. And I want Ian to tell you a little bit about his story and how his interests were able to be cultivated in our schools. If we can give Ian Weinberg a hand. Come on out, Ian. Thank you. You did great.
I would like to start by expressing my gratitude for the honor of standing before all of you today. Thank you, Dr. Roberson, for this opportunity to represent the students of Birmingham Public Schools. I also want to express my appreciation for the great teachers and counselors who make learning possible. To all the teachers who have inspired me, to my counselor, Ms. Vaqueras, who's gone out of her way to help me, I'm beyond thankful. I realize that your support, effort, and dedication to your job have been essential to my success here at Seaholm and in shaping me as a person. The biggest privilege any BPS student has is the ability to explore different subject matters in a low-risk environment. Traditionally, high school is a place where you take core classes in English, math, social studies, and science to prepare for college. While learning the core subjects is essential, the low-risk environment at BPS means that students have the chance to follow their curiosities and explore different courses like art, business, computer science, and debate. A BPS education affords all students the opportunity to discover their passions. The influence of BPS doesn't stop when the school bell rings to conclude at the end of the day. BPS students have seemingly endless options to customize their after-school extracurriculars. If you're interested in a club, sport, or after-school experience, there's a good chance it is offered at Seaholm. Even if it isn't offered, the district is open to helping students start new activities. During my sophomore year, I wanted to join an investing club, but there wasn't one. So, along with a couple of classmates, I founded the Seaholm Investing Club. Initially, the club had maybe 10 to 15 members, but over the past 2 years, we have grown to close to 70 members. We are one of, if not the largest non-national organizational clubs at the school. The fact that as a student, I've had the access to the resources to grow this club from just an idea to one of the largest in the school is a testament to the district's culture of fostering ideas and supporting students. I want to say a special thank you to Mr. Yusko, the Investing Club sponsor. At Seaholm, I also felt that I had the support to start a very big project, writing a book. The idea was born when I realized there was not as many young investors as there should be. While some teens are interested in investing, like the members of the Investing Club, the majority of teens figure investing is a complicated activity reserved for adults. I wanted to dispel that myth, so I thought about what I could do and soon realized I would write a book that explains the fundamental concepts of investing in a language that teens could understand. I spent over 1.5 years writing the book, and in March 2023, I self-published the book on Amazon. All the profits from the book have been and will continue to be donated to Youth Think Detroit, a youth-funded nonprofit focused on teaching entrepreneurship to Detroit students. I know I would not have been able to do it without the support of the BPS community. I'm forever grateful for all the teachers, staff members, and fellow students who supported me throughout my journey. As I stand before you, I'm not just a senior, a Seaholm Club founder or author. I'm a product and proud member of the Birmingham Public Schools community. Once again, thank you for this honor to speak to you all. Have a great night.
Can we give Ian another round of applause? Ian has his book here, and so I will be a shameless plug for him. But when you leave today, if you're interested in purchasing his book, He'll have a couple of copies in the back. We know that academics is not just about math, science, social studies, and ELA. We know that there also includes our visual arts. We have an outstanding visual arts program here in our district. We have elementary schools where every elementary school has a kiln in their room. And while those of you who have always been in Birmingham think that that is not a big deal, you talk to some of your counterparts in other school districts, and that does not always exist. We have a ceramics program. Our photography studios at the high school have actual dark rooms, which is not a lost art. We have metals, drawing, and these art projects that you see right above me, above me, are from some of our scholastic scholars that is just amazing. I wish I could just take some time to show you all of the different artwork that our students are capable of. We do have also a National Art Honor Society because, again, we want to make sure that we are cultivating students' individual brilliance. Our performing arts also is a wonderful program. You heard the Seaholm Jazz Band, who did a wonderful job. We have concert and marching and jazz band, concert and symphony orchestra, music technology, class piano. Our theater program at both high schools is outstanding. We also have award-winning music and theater programs, like Sophia Marks, who is a 2024 All-State Orchestra student. She is considered one of the top violists in the state of Michigan. She is here to perform the second movement of the J.C. Bach Viola Concerto. If we can give a round of applause for Sophia Marks. Let's give Sophia another round of applause. You did amazing. Thank you. In addition to outstanding visual and performing arts, we have a outstanding athletic program, having 33 varsity and junior varsity sports, boys and girls. Our 2020 bond, I thought this was blinking behind me incessantly. I'm like, is it? Thank you. So our 2020 bond was heavily focused on our athletics facilities because at that time, when they did the survey from the community, that it was what the community wanted to see an upgrade. We have seen the upgrade already completed at Seaholm High School. If you pulled into the parking lot, Groves is on its way, hopefully to be done by this summer. But it is an opportunity for our students to live into a state-of-the-art athletics facility. Uh-oh. So we have, you know what, I had a feeling something like this might happen. I did bring a paper copy because I am a teacher at heart. Bring me one out. So we have our Groves boys swim and dive team, our state champions, and we have a number of athletic programs that are also runner-up. Seaholm's boys golf, Seaholm girls swim and dive, our Seaholm boys tennis, Seaholm boys golf, all state runner-ups. We have Groves girls swim and dive as state qualifiers. And we also have our Seaholm football team as OAA division champs. So, and nearly a dozen students we have had already signed for Division I scholarships, and a number of other students who have signed for scholarships for D2, Division II, and Division III schools. So that is something to applaud. So we also have experiences beyond the walls of our schools each day. And those experiences include our career and technical education programs. For some of you who may not know, we also have dual enrollment, and that is when our students are able to take classes at a college or university, local college and university, in addition to taking classes here at in our school district. And our school district and the state, it's a partnership, helps to pay for those costs. We have the robotics club, which often sees the world championships because they do so well. Our clubs, we have a number of clubs and activities, especially at our secondary buildings. There's no less than 20 clubs and activities in each of our middle schools and high schools. And you heard a little bit about a club and activity that got started by Ian. We have a number of service organizations because we do believe in giving back to the community, and so our students participate in those, and that's one of the pictures you see up there. And then our students are able to participate in local, national, and international field trips. And that is also amazing. Students can, some of our students are going to the DIA, the Detroit Symphony Orchestra. Some of our students are traveling to Washington, D.C. And then we have students who have traveled to France and to Taiwan, practicing their language skills. One of the things that we had here at Groves High School is we had Erica Rice and teacher Jeffrey Wickersham, who had an opportunity to participate in an activity where they followed a World War II soldier from Birmingham, the life of one, and that life was able to move to, they were able to travel to Normandy, France, to learn more about that history. And so I have Erica and Mr. Wickersham here today to tell you a little bit about that experience beyond the Groves walls. Come on out. Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us here today. We're so excited to get to share about the incredible opportunity that we had. I've been a BPS student for 9 years now, and it's been a fantastic 9 years because I've had the opportunity not just to learn, but to experience so much in my time in this district, from when I was a third grader and they had me elbows deep in a crayfish tank, all the way up until today. Something that is just so incredible about this district is how students are given so many opportunities both inside and outside the classroom to connect with our classmates and with teachers who really care about giving us a chance to explore, to show our strengths, and to really grow, not just as students, not just as people who can do math and point out countries on a map, but really become lifelong learners. It is such an incredible experience, and I am very certain that so many of the things that I've had the chance to do in these last 9 years, I would not have been able to do, would not have been able to learn, would not have been able to experience had I not been in the Birmingham Public School District. But you know, I've only been a student here for 9 years. Mr. Wickersham has been teaching here for much more, so I'll hand it over to him for a second.
Thank you, Erica. There is a QR code for you to follow along somewhere. And so you're seeing the pictures up there from our trip to France and from DC. I began working at Groves High School back in 1997. Oh my gosh, that's a long time ago. And I've been here ever since. Two things I liked immediately about Groves were the amazingly supportive teachers and students eager to learn. What I didn't know at the time was that I had found my home. My journey at Groves has allowed me to teach one dream class after another. First, I started with Excel 10. I loved the history and the literature. Then Civil War and Reconstruction, then Honors Philosophy, and then AP US History, where I had the daunting task of filling the shoes of the legend Karen Lessenberry. Along the way, in my 27 years here, Andrew Wilson and I started coaching Powder Puff Flag football, which has become a fall tradition over the last 22 years. My department head, Laura Shekel, as well as our school and district administration, have been extremely supportive as I've created a women's history class, and as well working with my colleague Kamisha Hurd to revamp the African American history class. The administration has also encouraged me to become a better APUSH writing teacher, and they have given me sub days ever since I started being an AP reader back in 2016. They are also on board with my effort to bring in the AP African American Studies class to Groves, or to the district, hopefully offering it next year. I've stayed at Groves for a lot of reasons, but top among them are to work with great kids like Erica and the amazing parents and the community members who have continually voted for, I turn off my timer, who have continually voted to improve our resources and our facilities. Number two, supportive administrators like Dr. Smith and Dr. Roberson. Number three, the privilege, yet the honor, to teach in the best department at Groves. And number four, a great union that protects its teachers, negotiates good salaries, and great health care. I treasure the fact that I have become a fixture in the Groves and Birmingham community. It is an honor. Whether it's announcing sporting events, or maybe even coaching a flag football team in the spring, we'll see. Or winning the prestigious awards, teaching awards like the James Madison Fellowship, and then this amazing opportunity Erica and I are about to tell you about, the Albert H. Small Normandy Institute.
I heard about the Albert H. Small Normandy Institute. I say heard about it. He told me about it. I wasn't reading the paper and saw a blurb or anything. And I thought, this is incredible. This would be such a great opportunity. I'm going to apply. There's no way I'm going to get in. This is such a great opportunity. It's like a dream thing. I told my parents I was expecting to have to convince them. They're like, you absolutely need to try to do this. This is a dream thing. And then I got in, and I thought, oh my gosh, I'm going to study World War II like no one I know has gotten to study before. I'm going to get to walk on Omaha Beach, and it was a dream thing. I remember Mr. Wickersham telling me when we first got accepted, this is going to be a college level course. This is really going to be, well above the high school level. Do you think you can handle it? And I said, I think I can handle it. And then we got the syllabus, and he said, this is a graduate school level course. I hope we can handle this. And I said, I hope we can handle this. But we could. And what a life-changing experience it was. The opportunity to not just study war in the abstract, but to study a specific soldier from our hometown of Birmingham, Lieutenant Carlton Thompson, who graduated from Seaholm High School, who lived on Lincoln Street, who worked at Pontiac downtown in Detroit, was just, I can't put it into words. It was so incredibly powerful to literally bring it home like that, and to realize that I'd driven past the house that he grew up in, to go to Seaholm and realize that these were the classrooms he had learned in. Every other student in this program that I still am friends with today said, this changed my life. This was an incredible opportunity. And so I'm going to say it again. It really did change my life, and was an incredible opportunity that I would not have had if not for not just Mr. Wickersham, but the support of his department head, who wrote us a letter of recommendation, the enthusiastic support of our principals, our administrators, who cheered us on and were just so excited for us to have this chance. And, having returned from this, the point of the Normandy Institute isn't just to teach students how to be better history students and teachers how to be better history teachers. It's for us to come back home and talk about it. And we've been given so many incredible opportunities by this district to share what we've learned, to share Lieutenant Thompson's story. It's just been unbelievable, and all thanks to Mr. Wickersham and BPS, and of course the George Washington University, who runs this program. I don't know if any high school history teachers are here, but more people should be applying to this program, because it really is so incredible.
As Erica said, this is an amazing opportunity. It was hands-on history. We got to go to the National Archives and look at the records. And it's what I love to do as a teacher, is to get kids out and learning about and seeing the relevance of history on the impact of their lives. Lastly, I'd want to thank the Lennon and Rose families, who are Lieutenant Thompson's family, who we were actually able to get a hold of, and they opened up their home generously and shared their artifacts with us. And we also would like to thank Drs. Long, Brunsman, and Arneson from the Normandy Institute for accepting us, taking a chance on us, guiding us through a graduate level course on World War II, and then being great people to go to DC and France with. We're going to cherish those friendships that we've made and the knowledge that we've gained. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Erica, and thank you, Mr. Wickersham.
It sounds like you had an amazingly touching journey together.
Back again, the one, the only, Dr. Roberson.
So we also have a number of special programs for our high school students. For students who need a smaller environment, we have Lincoln Street Alternative. Now, some of you may think of alternative and only think about it as a place where students who may need credit recovery, and it can be used for that. But it's also used for students who just need a smaller environment. It tailors, if you haven't met David Brooks, he's an amazing principal, and he's an advocate for making sure that they are tailoring learning to the needs of each and every one of our students. So they have classes on design thinking, engineering, and robotics, career focus and career readiness, and esports. We also have the International Academy that our students have access to. So if they want an international baccalaureate program, they have the opportunity to apply through a placement test and through a lottery to the International Academy. We are part of that as a part of the Oakland County Consortium. And we are doing all of this so our students are college and career ready. Here you see just a snippet of some schools that our students attend. They are some of the top schools in the country, as well as the top schools here in Michigan. I also have bolded here early middle college, and that is through OCC. Students can elect to stay with us for an additional year and leave with an associate's degree that is paid for by Birmingham Public Schools and the state of Michigan through a partnership. I think it's very important that we not only highlight the wonderful universities that our students are able to attend, but also understand that our students have different paths to their post-secondary life. And all of them don't have to attend a traditional university to be successful. And so that is why not only I want to show the schools and the early middle college, but also show the 13 programs and clusters that are offered through our Oakland Schools Technical Center. Students can go through the OSTC programs, one of the 13 that are here, and they leave high school with certification and go straight into industry. And as many of you know, if you've had to have anyone do anything for you in terms of skilled trades, there is a market to have more people work in the skills trade field, and they make very good money. And so students can get industry certification, again, as a part of Birmingham Public Schools and at no cost to them. We also have, what's really important is, in addition to academics, is we have to make sure that all of our students feel emotionally and physically safe in order to even be able to learn. And part of our second pillar of our strategic plan is actually, it says a culture of unity and well-being. And so playing on that, culture of community and well-being, it is important that we are building that foundation and we're building community of character in order for our kids to feel safe. Now, I told you earlier in this session that we did an equity audit and we did surveys as part of the strategic plan to make sure that we understood how students were experiencing our schools. We know from that equity audit and from the strategic plan that our students, while some of our students have a very good sense of belonging within our school districts, not all of our students feel that way. We saw stronger correlations in terms of a feeling of belonging at the elementary level, and that decreases as students get older and go into middle school and high school. Now, some of that you can say that's part of being teenage years, but there is something that we can do to help support our students. We also learned in that at the middle school level, there are students at a higher number than we would like to see who say they experience bullying, and that our students who are part of the LGBTQ community said that they feel less safe than their counterparts. And because of that reason, we have instituted a culture and climate survey on a yearly basis for our students and our staff. The reason that we do that is because, going back to what I said earlier, our strategic plan is a living and breathing document. And so we have to have measurable goals. Are we doing things better? Does it get better each year? And so that's what we're going to be working on. We gave our first baseline this past spring. So we have our Better Together student-led campaigns that focuses on our core values that are within our strategic plan. We use the character.org 11 principles as a thread within our schools. We have reinvigorated the restorative practices training, making sure that our teachers and our staff are trained on how to build that positive community and how to use restorative practices when appropriate for students when they are harmed. And we are focused on, just embedded throughout the day, how do we have courageous conversations with students, from student to student, and do so in a way where we understand or hear multiple perspectives and respect those multiple perspectives and challenge the issue and the idea and not the person. I mean, if we can get students to do that, our world will be a better place. Because right now, there are so many things happening in our society where people are speaking past each other. And we don't have to all agree. That is not the point of school. And I want to hit on this point because there, unfortunately, sometimes in the media, people are demonizing education. Our point as educators is not to make sure that every child thinks the same. Our point is to make sure that children are able to think critically, that they can use evidence behind their opinions and in terms of why their opinions, and that they can have that respectful conversation in a way that hears the other person, validates the other person, and even if they don't agree, be able to attack that idea and not them personally. We also know that sometimes our students are in emotional distress, and we have counselors and wellness and crisis counselors at the high school levels. We have our Canine Comfort Crew, our therapy dog program, and I have to give a shout out to the Birmingham Rotary Club for helping sponsoring our therapy dogs in our schools. And we have a partnership with Easter Seals that allows us to, for students who may need additional therapy that goes beyond what a school can provide, we can connect our families with the Easter Seals who are housed right in our high schools and pass them off for therapy beyond the school day. We also know that physical safety is important, but the reason that we focus so much on emotional safety is because often when you hear about school violence, it is committed by someone who did not feel connected to the school environment. And so it's important that we have that connection. But at the same time, we also want to make sure that we are doing things to strengthen the structure of our schools. So we do have school resource officers that work at our high schools and that are filtered through our feeder patterns. We have secure entrances and training for all staff on how to allow people in on those secure entrances. We have a district security director, because remember in the beginning I showed all the different municipalities that we are working with, and we want to make sure that they're on the same page when they're working with our schools. And we're training the appropriate staff on threat assessments and suicide protocols. Outside of K-12, I just want to give a shout out to early learning. Because early learning is something that is very important and actually one of the most important interventions that can happen within a school district. We implemented junior kindergarten this year, which is for those students who are kind of like a young fives and parents who feel like their child needs an extra year of kindergarten. We have 5 classrooms in our school district, and right now we have a survey out, so if you're interested in junior kindergarten, make sure you sign up. We are talking about expanding our 4-year-old full-day program in preschool, and we're hoping to have a full-day 4-year-old program in each one of our 8 elementary schools. And want to take advantage of the governor's proposal for universal preschool and hoping that we can get more families into preschool for free or at a reduced cost. And then some of you may not know, but we offer early on services, and that is for families of children who have children birth through 5 years of age. And these are students who may have some issues with speech delay. They're seeing a delay in maybe the things that would focus on occupational therapy or physical therapy. And our staff actually goes into the homes of the families and teaches the caretakers how to work with students. And so what we're seeing in success, and there was a presentation at one of our board meetings just a few weeks ago, is that students, children who participate and families who participate in these early on services no longer need services when they enter into kindergarten sometimes because they've had this early intervention. We also have adult transition programs. So we are a school district that services students all the way to age 26. And this is generally for students who are part of our ASD classroom, ASD center-based program, or our cognitively impaired programs. And this is part of their curriculum. We really make sure that they are able to work in the community and help them build skills for their time when they are outside of our care. This building, which is beautiful, was renovated as part of our 2020 bond, and it was renovated with an actual apartment inside. And it looks like an apartment with the kitchen and with the bed and with a closet, so we can teach students the skills of how to make a bed, how to fold up laundry, how to wash clothes, how to make lunch and make dinner so that they can be prepared to be successful in their lives outside of our post-secondary program. And I have to bring up the financial, being financial stewards. As many of you remember, this not too long ago, that we had a projected budget shortfall of $14.8 million. I am proud to say, and we just had our audit presentation at the last board meeting, we ended the school year last year with a shortfall of $200,000. On a $147 million budget, that is only 0.2%. So that was amazing. That did happen with a lot of hard work, a lot of us working together as a staff, as a community, to right-size our district and live into our new reality of enrollment. Moody's did drop the negative outlook forecast for our district, but again, as I'm always going to be sharing ways that we can improve, we still are working on a structural shortfall. Now, if you've been to the grocery store lately, I don't go often, but I do know the milk and eggs are much higher than what they used to be. Gas is higher, retirement costs go up, and what we're doing is we are working on how do we live into rising costs and inflation, staying competitive for our world-class staff, in terms of wages, and balancing that with the fact that our revenue is based on enrollment and based on what we get from the state, which are two things that are not directly in our control. And so we're still working on a structural deficit, a structural shortfall, I should say, but we are in a much stronger position. And we've had a number of bond projects across the district. You saw a couple through the presentation at Seaholm High School and also at our adult transition program, but here's just a picture of a few. And all of this is done, again, not only by our partnership and our staff and our amazing staff, but also with our partnerships with the community, with our parent affinity groups. Our Birmingham Education Foundation, which has a table out in the back, and who is also taking, if anybody wants to buy tickets for the Unabashed Bash, which is our biggest fundraiser in February, and helps fund all the teacher grants that we have within our district. We have our Rotary Club, who has partnered with our therapy dogs. We have also our Schools Office Support, or SLS, which also has a table out in the back where we make sure that we are taking care of those within our community who are having a hard time. And so if you want to help, Giving Tuesday just passed, in case you didn't give on Tuesday, you can help in the back with our SOS program. But all of this is done, and all of the amazing things that happen within our school district is because of our partnerships. And these are just a few. They're not encompassing all of our partnerships. So, we have a district that is one of the best districts in America that has increasing enrollment. We have areas of our data that is improving, areas that we still need to work on. We are making sure that we have a lot of bond projects, and we are making sure that we are really cultivating an environment where students feel physically and emotionally safe. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Dr. Roberson, it's getting a little late.
No, Emma and I got school in the morning.
Maybe a better way to wrap this up would be to play a video?
Okay. I am going to play a video because I have talked enough. It's just so many great things here happening in our district. But I will, where's the video? You got it? All right.
Be the best version of yourself. Be exceptional. Be creative. Be remarkable. Be magnificent. Be spectacular. Be undefinable. Be bold. Be brilliant. Be Birmingham.
I do believe I have talked enough. If you would please give Emma and Cameron a round of applause for being our student MCs tonight. And I want to say thank you to Cortez Strickland, JC, all of the people, Stephen Carpenter, the video production group, Bianca, all of the people who helped put this together, our principals who came out, and our Central Leadership team, and just thank you. Everybody have a great night. And pass the word for people who weren't here to watch the State of the District address at a later time. Have a good one. Thank you.